Whoa, before you skip, this part is very important. So here's how it all started. When I was 13 years old, aspired to become a Shaolin monk. Yes, those kung fu ones that break bricks with their heads and then kick down trees. But throughout my teenage years, I somehow stumbled into UI and UX design. I became a lead designer, I freelanced, and then ultimately started my own UX design agency. And between you and I've generated just shy of $4 million in UI and UX design work over the last 4 years. So this video is the part 1 of the entire series of how I got started and how I've made it to where I am today. And most importantly, with zero experience and degree. And you can also as well. So make sure to subscribe because I'll be releasing part 2 and part 3 later on this year. And that's where we will dive deep into the transition from full-time role into full-time freelancing, into scaling out the operation into a 7-figure design agency. I'll be sharing with you all the behind the scenes, the failures, the lessons learned, and some of the glimpses of the success. And I'm also going to summarize it into 3 practical tips that you can implement into your very own journey if you're looking to get into UI and UX design. Oh, and by the way, if you are looking to improve your very own design portfolio, I've got a series, and you can click the link up there, where I review design portfolios from all around the world to help you guys get practical insights that you can implement into your own design portfolio when you're looking for clients or you're looking to land a job. So make sure to check it out. I also wanted to start this video off by giving you a little bit of context. I did not have any pre-existing connections into the design world. I did not have a silver spoon fed to me because I grew up in a Chinese migrant family in Sydney, Australia. And that meant that we had to build everything from the ground up. My dad worked 3 jobs and my mum has been a travel agent for the last 25 years. Now, growing up in a Chinese migrant family was hard, but more importantly, it meant that my parents were strict and also quite traditional in the way that they were raising my sister and I. And that led to me binging and watching Jackie Chan movies growing up as a teenager. And that is also probably why I aspired to become a Shaolin monk growing up. However, that's not the point. My point is, when you lock an Asian dude up in his home, what does that equal? It either means that they're going to become a doctor, they're really good at maths, or they're going to be spending a lot of time playing games. And I was the third category. I was an Asian dude that just loved playing games. So in 2006, when I was 14 years old, my sister had introduced me to Neopets and Gunbound. These were 2 very large and popular online games. Very quickly, I became obsessed and addicted to these games. And I became so obsessed that I wanted to create a community where I could bring together designers from all around the world to trade, talk about games, and also meet like-minded people. So with a bit of research and a bit of curiosity, I researched online to see what can I use to create a forum. That is when I stumbled across Envision Free, which was a platform that allowed anyone in the world to create a fully fleshed out forum. After a little bit of research, I also found that I could put Google ads on the forum to make a little bit of side cash when I was 14 years old. And that's what I did, and that's how I made my very first $1. Oh, and by the way, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to gently smash that like button, subscribe, because I will be releasing 2 new videos every single week to help you become a legendary designer. All right, guys, back to the video. Now, it's important that you understand that because this led me down a rabbit hole. After trying to figure out how can I make money online and researching it on Google, I came across another forum called Digital Point, which is an internet marketing forum, and it still exists today, but it doesn't seem to be well maintained and it doesn't seem like something that's worth investing your time into now, because I'm sure there are other forums and other websites that you can learn a lot more from. In a nutshell, this forum was dedicated to internet marketers. This is where internet marketers would come together, they'd share and talk about SEO, marketing, how to make money online, and more importantly, there was a small section on the forum to request designs. And because I knew how to use Photoshop, I found a little bit of joy in fulfilling those design requests. So I would do logo designs for $5, random website templates for around $50, and I was just curious and spending time in learning how can I improve on my design skills. And I just kept striving to become better and better and better. Now in 2009, I was 17 years old and I stumbled across 99 Designs. And I thought this was nirvana. This was the holy grail. I'm gonna make logo designs. I'm gonna become a millionaire working from home. However, little did I know, I spent the next 6 months competing in 23 design contests and winning 0 design contests. Yes, I failed miserably, and here are some of the designs that I created. And to be honest, looking back, I can sort of see why they didn't really pick my designs. But hey, I don't think they were that bad. Let me know in the comments what you think about my very first designs. After constant rejections, I finally decided to say, I'm giving up on these design contests. It just wasn't working out for me. So I said to myself, I should double down on what worked before, which was to create a forum, put some ads on it, make some money, get some people to come to the website. I knew I was good at that and I knew I had the experience. So I doubled down on that route. So when I was 17, I launched a site called boardshack.com. Through research, learning, and just discovery, I found that I could buy a script that had a database of all these Flash games. I had also learned how to upload this script via FTP onto a host and my website. And then I also used some of the design experience I had to craft and design a compelling website. The website didn't look great, but people found value in it. People returned and they kept playing Flash games on my website. And very soon after, once again, I put some Google ads on it and I realized I could start making money from this website. The interesting thing was I was obsessed with optimizing how the website would look. I would move where the ads were, I would make the ads bigger, I'd make the ads look like the games itself, some of those gray and black hat tricks, but I was just young and I was curious. And I realized these design decisions would actually make more money. And this was important because this helped me understand that you can utilize design in many different ways to really help a business grow. Now, a second website I generated was from a problem that I experienced myself. When I was 17, I was still in high school. MySpace, if you don't know what MySpace was the Facebook of the early 2000s. And my school IT department had set up a firewall to block all students from accessing their MySpace account. Now I thought to myself, how can I bypass this problem? So once again, I researched, I spent some time to find what are solutions that I could provide to get by these firewalls. And I discovered I could buy a proxy script, and so I did. I bought a proxy script, once again, uploaded it onto my own server, and then once again, using the design skills I had learnt on my own to create a more compelling and better looking website. So then I shared this on Reddit, also shared it on Dig, so digg.com, and people started flocking to it. I was using the website, my friends were using the website at school, and then thousands of people were using the website as well to bypass firewalls. Here's an interesting insight. Most of the traffic, which was hundreds of thousands of people every single month, came from Russia. I don't know what they were doing, but it seems like they were trying to bypass and do something cheeky. Now, another little side project that I worked on was when Facebook started to rise. When Facebook started to rise, more and more people would use the product, and then Zynga also appeared. Zynga was the company that created Farmville and Mafia Wars. These were extremely viral games that millions, hundreds of millions of people were using. And as a gamer myself, I realized, well, gamers love cheats, right? So what can I do to capitalize on this opportunity? So that is when I decided I'm gonna create a Facebook app. I'm gonna collect all the cheats for all the Zynga games like Farmville, Mafia Wars, and all the good ones, put it behind an app, and for anyone that wants to access it, they need to complete a survey where I get paid $1 to $2 for every entry. Oh, and here are some of the earnings from 1 month in 2010 for this app. And you can see on the 10th, I had actually made $5,000 in 1 day. It's insane. But it didn't happen right away. It was all about optimizing and finding clever ways to make this viral app become more viral and more appealing. And I was forced to make better design decisions to make it more trustworthy, make it more compelling, to convince people that, hey, when you get into this app, there are actually cheats. And very early on, when I was just exploring and building side projects, I was forced to make all these design decisions that really helped me build a fundamental understanding that design is not just about the visual aspect. It's about how you communicate, how do you build trust, how to write compelling copywriting, how do you social proof it, how do I tell Farmville players that their Farmville friends have also accessed it. So these were the decisions that I had to make, and I was only 17 years old. So after spending a couple of years in building websites, making money from them and advertising them, I realized I became a lot more mindful and a lot more conscious about the design decisions that we were making. I became a lot more strategic and very tactical so that the products that I was designing, the websites that I was designing were great and also garnering results. In 2011, I was 19 years old and I finally thought to myself, I'm getting a little bit tired of just running websites and making a quick dollar. I want to build something a little bit more sustainable, but then also more meaningful in terms of the work that I was doing. So that is when I decided to actually jump out and try to get a full-time role with zero industry experience and degree in design. Now, the journey to landing my first design job, it's not revolutionary. I didn't do anything special. Now, before I decided to go and apply for jobs, I knew for a fact that companies are not stupid enough to just hire someone that they don't know with a crappy profile. That's not how the world works. Businesses that are looking to hire are obviously run by smart people who know how to make money. So they need to, when they meet me, they need to feel confident that if they're gonna pay me, let's say $40,000 a year, that I'm actually able to help them make $40,000 back and more in the years to come. I am an asset and they are investing in me. So before I even decided to apply for jobs, I spent weeks building and designing my very own design portfolio. I didn't know how to code from scratch, but I threw myself in the deep end and I just taught myself how to write HTML, CSS, and to this day, I still don't know how to write JavaScript in a very advanced way, but I still force myself to learn how to write some JavaScript. Now, let me actually show you the portfolio that I used to land 3 full-time roles as a UI and UX designer with 0 industry experience or degree in design. So here we go. Here is the design that I had actually designed and built from scratch. You can see I learned a little bit of JavaScript to really create these interactive and interesting concepts and websites to really appeal to the person who was going to hire me. It's nothing fancy. It is literally 2 images on top of each other. One is blurred with Photoshop and one's the original. And I had to learn how to use JavaScript to hover on this image and make it show the blurred version. These things aren't rocket science, and this is what I want to express is if you're looking for a job, you have to put your best foot forward. Like, you just have to put in the hard work. There's no way and no shortcuts around it. So I actually put together a portfolio as well. You can see not all the projects I worked on were even web or UI design. This was a WordPress template. This, I don't even remember what it was, but it's social media branding. This was a side project that I was working on that never went live, but at least I had things to show. I also designed a conceptual app for finding parking spots back in 2011. I designed multiple templates. The portfolio that I had wasn't rocket science or it wasn't anything amazing, but you can see that I actually had a story to tell when I went into my interviews. I told them about the projects that I worked on. I was passionate about them. I also learned how to design and code. And to a business, that is compelling. They're thinking about, okay, you're a junior designer and you're gonna probably charge maybe $40,000 a year. I had enough confidence from them that I was able to generate that amount of money and more for their business because I had the perseverance, I had the grit, and I also was able to learn things on my own. I didn't need to be hand-holded, and I didn't need to go out and just be guided on what's the next step, what do I need to do? I just got myself out there, I learned, I tried, experimented, and I was able to create a portfolio that was compelling. So when I had the portfolio ready, I went to seek.com.au and I was browsing through jobs and I was pretty excited. I didn't really care about what the job was going to be. I just wanted to get a full-time role so I could learn from all the smart people around me. Now, the first job I had was a $40,000 salary job at a random IT distributing software company. To be honest, I don't know what I was doing there. I was managing random websites, so I actually decided to leave fairly quickly. I then moved on to an agency at a $60,000 salary. And the only way that I was able to position myself into that company was by showing them all the side projects that I worked on, how I turned an idea into a profitable website, how I learned how to code, learned how to design, learned how to create cool little effects on my website, all on my own. And that is the only way that I was able to get myself in the door because I had no industry experience or even a degree. I just had a website and I didn't even have a CV. However, the culture was a little bit cutthroat as most agencies were back in the days and some of the agencies still are. So I actually decided to move on and try to find a different role. At this time, I had only 3 months of industry experience. I didn't stay long at these companies because I just didn't feel like I fit in. Then the third role that I stayed for a year and a half was Freelancercom. No, I was not a freelancer on the platform. I was actually a designer, an in-house designer for the business that would design the features and the platform for one of the world's largest freelancing marketplaces. Now, at the time, Freelancer.com had millions of users. They were making millions of revenue every single year. And you might be thinking, how did someone with no degree or no industry experience actually get their foot in the door at a $70,000 salary? Well, once again, I used the side projects that I had worked on to leverage my way in. I was able to walk them through with passion and with clarity and confidence that I was able to turn just an idea into a website I designed and built. And not only that, I was able to get it out into the world. I was able to get people to the website. And more importantly, and ultimately, I was able to generate revenue. And that is what businesses want. Even when you're a junior designer, senior designer, or whatever it might be, businesses will see you as an asset, and they will see that if we pay you X amount every single year, let's say 70,000, can you make us $100,000 back with the work that you produce? Can you make us 140,000? And if they can assess on how much more money you can make than your salary, then you become highly demanded. So if I had to summarize everything into 3 tips, practical tips that you can implement into your own journey, and if you're looking for a UI UX design role, what can you do is, first, I had a very clear goal. I wasn't a graphic designer, logo designer, visual designer, illustrator, UI UX, web design. I wasn't them all. I was a UI and UX designer that had a passion for building websites and apps that made money. And a lot of businesses resonate with that because they're in business because they want to make more money. So if I am a UI and UX designer and I also have a passion in making money with the websites that I build, then it resonates with exactly what they want. If I was compared to another UI and UX designer who didn't really have experience in making money through websites, then they're just a designer. I was just lucky that the passions and my interests aligned with businesses. But I also niched down. I knew exactly what I wanted. And businesses love it when their employees and their team members know exactly what they want and they're actually good at it and they have the experience and the work to back their claim. So your very first thing is niche down and know exactly what you want. The second thing is I put effort into my portfolio. Just like everyone else, just like you, just like any other designer in this world, we all start from nothing. All of us know nothing about design and we know nothing about code. But I spent weeks and months learning how to code and learning how to design my very own design portfolio. And then when I didn't have enough work to put into the actual portfolio, I created work. I made websites and then I launched it and I would actually get some traction from it. So when I walked into an interview, I actually had something to say. Trust me, I burnt the midnight oil. I spent weeks, sleepless nights, just trying to figure out how to create that parallax blurry effect with jQuery. It was not easy, and I was just in the same boat as you, not knowing anything as well. So you need to put in the extra work and don't go applying for jobs if your portfolio looks sloppy, because you're just gonna make yourself feel demotivated, you're just gonna get rejected, and you need to make sure that you're putting your best foot forward. I also want to reiterate that when I applied for these jobs, back in those days, which sounds very long ago, which was actually 10 years ago, there was no one teaching UI and UX design. No one taught you how to build a portfolio. Everything was all from trial and error. Nowadays, you are overwhelmed with information, websites, guides, tutorials. You can learn everything that you need to learn with a click of a button. So there is no excuse that the work that you're producing and the portfolio that you're put forwarding to companies is sloppy because you have all the answers around you. I'm creating this video to help you get there as well. So hopefully this gives you no excuse, no more excuses. Double down, work hard, and put in the effort so you can achieve the job or the client that you want to achieve. And the third and most important thing is you have to be passionate about what you do. Seriously, people can see it right through you and your portfolio. If you are just trying to get into UI and UX design because you've heard about it and it's a quick way to make some money, you're not going to get quite far. You need to be genuinely passionate about what you do, and you need to be able to showcase that. When I went into the interviews, I could sit there for hours talking about the failures, the lessons learned, what did I do when something didn't work, how did I learn how to build a website. I was so passionate about what I did that people could see right into that. And even though I didn't have any industry experience or even a degree, people were highly demanding my skill sets. They wanted me to work for their companies because I was a valuable asset. And that is how you need to see this as well. UI and UX design is not just a job. It's like a lifestyle. Like there are designers all over Twitter and turning UI and UX design into like an absolute lifestyle. It's a train of thought, it's a mindset, it's a movement, it's a care for the customer. It's all this good stuff and you need to live and breathe it. So hopefully in this video you found inspiration, guidance, or even practical tips that you can implement into your very own process to really elevate yourself moving forward. Because this entire YouTube channel, I'll be releasing 2 videos every single week to help you become a legendary designer. Also, if you are new to UI and UX design or you want to get into it, if you want to learn one of the most popular UI design tools, I've got a free crash course right up there. Smash that button and I will take you to a series of videos about how to use Figma. And if you have any sort of questions about UI and UX, could be your career, could be tactical processes, whatever it might be, let me know in the comments below and I will read every single comment and I will also reply to every single comment. That's it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure if you enjoyed it, gently smash that like button and subscribe to get all the updates of new videos coming out every single week. I will see you in another video very soon.